Well, Matt, I'm so excited about this interview. The summer's coming to an end. If you're looking for a fabulous read for the end of summer, Dr. Mike Macalupo, whose first book, Where the Road Begins, took place in his hometown, South Buffalo, is back now with a thrilling new novel, Murder at Ravenswood Hall. It's a mystery involving several characters from his last book and stretches from Wilmington, North Carolina, where he lives now, back to his roots in Western New York. Mike, you're joined with us today. You were telling me a little bit about this book. I'm going to have to read it because it sounds like it's a page-turner.
It is, and people have told me that. That's your copy, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You almost got my name right.
Almost. I only said it like 5 times and then got it wrong.
No, that's okay. It contains 2 murders that occur. Both of them occur in Wilmington. The first part of the book is written by a woman named Amaya. She's the narrator of the story. Her husband is an entrepreneur. He has a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and she's a mystery writer. And her story she's writing is Murder at Ravenswood Hall. And she's had writer's block, so he's trying to help her. So he comes up with this idea of doing a murder mystery game for his top executives, and he's also using it to see which one will take over as president of his corporation. And in the mix are a lot of the legends and ghosts from the Wilmington. Southeastern North Carolina is famous for their ghosts. Right. Blackbeard, Jack the Ripper was one of the people that was looked at as being Jack the Ripper. Is from Wilmington, or was a Wilmington cotton merchant. And so I've mixed in some of these legends into this murder mystery, the first one. Now the second one brings back 4 of the main characters from my first book, Where the Road Begins. Okay. And there is a connection, there's a tie there, a very strong tie. I don't want to spoil it. But
you have to read the first book and the second book.
Right. But you could read just this and still enjoy it, but the first one will give you a lot, of course, background on the other. The first book is a coming-of-age story, and it's character-driven. This is plot-driven.
How exciting. Talk to me a little bit about, if somebody's reading this, what Western New York ties they'll hear in here. What stuff from Western New York will they hear about?
The main characters, which I said are carried over from the first book, are living in Wilmington, and they, in order to solve the second murder, and one of their good friends is murdered, they find some clues, and those clues lead them to Buffalo. So, and it's actually on the east side of Buffalo that they go to, but they first come to South Buffalo, which their family is still there, and they kind of use that as a home base. So we still see a lot of South Buffalo in the story that they use, and they go to the east side to try to solve the murder.
Now, where can people get this book?
Dog Ears Bookstore on Abbott Road in South Buffalo, of course. Tommy McDonald has copies there of both books, available signed copies.
Wonderful. I have to ask you real quick, what is it like to be able to write about the place that you grew up in? I mean, that must be just so fabulous to kind of write a story that involves South Buffalo and Western New York, right?
It is. It's a fascinating place, and I'm sure wherever you live you find that. But I think one of the interesting things is I've had people who are friends of mine, or people that I've even just met, a man from Detroit who grew up in Detroit, a little bit younger than I am, said he thought he was reading about his childhood. I had one last night we had a reading and book signing at Dog Ears Bookstore, and a person there who read it, the first book, said, I thought it was my childhood. And there are very strong women characters in both books. So, you know, women can relate to it. It isn't a guy book.
All right, well, I'm definitely going to give it a read. Murder at Ravenswood Hall. Mike Macalupo, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure.
Welcome. Thank you.
We're going to send things back out to Emily now. Hey, Emily.